Imagine being over 70 and still having the sky calling your name. At this age, flying isn't about ego, speed, or proving anything. It's about clarity, calmness, confidence, and an airplane that respects your experience, your health, and your peace of mind. Today, we're talking about the top 5 private planes for pilots over 70 in the US. Aircraft that reduce stress, simplify workload, stay gentle in the air, and make flying feel like a joy again instead of a challenge. Some of these planes are familiar legends. Some are modern, smart, and surprisingly efficient, but all of them share the same mission: keep older pilots flying safely, comfortably, and happily for as long as possible. Let's dive in. 5th place, Piper PA-18 Super Cub. This one may surprise some people, but the Super Cub deserves huge respect when we talk about pilots over 70. Why? Because simplicity, predictability, and pure flying connection matter more than ever. The PA-18 is one of the most honest airplanes ever built. Everything happens at human speed. No rush, no drama. Just clean, slow, beautifully controllable flight. Its low stall speeds and extremely forgiving nature give older pilots time to think, time to react, and time to breathe. Short field capability means you don't need massive runways. Landings are slow, takeoffs are short, and the aircraft feels almost like it floats, instead of forcing you to work hard to keep it flying. Now yes, it's a tail dragger, and that means it demands good habits on the ground. But many senior pilots actually appreciate that engagement. It keeps your hands and brain active without overwhelming you. The cockpit is simple, mechanical, and distraction-free. No endless screens, no overcomplicated avionics, just flying the way aviation used to feel. And for pilots over 70, that nostalgia matters emotionally. It reminds you why you fell in love with flying in the first place. It's peaceful, low-stress, intimate aviation. Do you think older pilots should move towards simpler aircraft like this, or stick to modern tech-heavy platforms? I'd really love to see what you think in the comments. 4th place, Van's RV-10. Now let's move to something far more modern and incredibly capable. The Van's RV-10 is one of the best 4-seat experimental touring aircraft ever made, and it's surprisingly well suited for senior pilots who still want performance but need comfort and predictability. Unlike many older legacy aircraft, the RV-10 feels refined, smooth, and balanced in the air. Controls are responsive but not twitchy. Stability is excellent, which means less fatigue, less workload, and more confidence on longer flights. For pilots over 70, that matters a lot. You want the airplane to help you, not fight you. The cabin is another huge advantage. It's wide, comfortable, and easier to get into than many traditional GA aircraft. Seats are supportive, ergonomics are modern, and the cockpit layout makes sense. The airplane feels like a comfortable travel machine, not a training cockpit from the 1970s. Many RV-10s are equipped with advanced avionics, but the good news is modern avionics today actually reduce workload instead of increasing it. Clear situational awareness, traffic awareness, easier navigation, all of this helps senior pilots fly safer with less stress. Meanwhile, the RV-10 delivers strong performance without brutally high operating costs. Good cruise speed, good range, and reliability, but with an airframe that feels lighter, newer, and mentally easier to trust. Older pilots often don't want to constantly worry about maintenance fatigue in aging aircraft, and the RV-10 solves that problem beautifully. It gives you capability without punishment, power without chaos, and it reminds you that age doesn't mean giving up serious flying, it just means doing it smarter. 3rd place, Diamond DA-40. If safety reputation truly matters, and at 70 plus, it absolutely does, the Diamond DA-40 earns serious respect. This airplane is famous in the training world for being incredibly stable, highly forgiving, and extraordinarily crashworthy thanks to its composite safety cell design. It feels light and graceful in the air, yet planted and composed in turbulence. The long wings give excellent glide performance, meaning if the engine ever goes quiet, you have time, options, and peace of mind. The cockpit visibility is one of the best in general aviation, like sitting inside a panoramic bubble, which older pilots absolutely love. It eases workload instead of increasing it. The ergonomics are thoughtful, seats are comfortable, and the modern avionics are clear and supportive rather than overwhelming. Maintenance is predictable, fuel efficiency is impressive, and the aircraft doesn't physically wear you down even on longer flights. For pilots over 70 who still want a modern airplane but value stability, safety engineering, and kindness in the air, the DA40 is one of the smartest choices alive today. Second place, Tecnam P2010. If you want something comfortable, elegant, modern, and surprisingly gentle to live with, the Tecnam P2010 deserves massive attention from pilots over 70. This is one of the most thoughtfully designed modern four-seat GA aircraft on the market. The cabin is genuinely comfortable with wide doors and easier entry than many legacy aircraft, something that really matters as we age. The seating position feels natural, the interior feels more automotive luxury than old-school trainer, and visibility is excellent. In the air, the P2010 is smooth, balanced, and predictable. It doesn't feel nervous. It doesn't demand muscle. It feels refined. Fuel efficiency is excellent, especially with modern engine options, and that means less cost stress and longer trips without fatigue. Maintenance tends to be simpler than older legacy aircraft with decades of wear, and the airplane carries modern engineering benefits: composites, improved aerodynamics, and thoughtful ergonomics. Psychologically, the P2010 also gives something very valuable to aging pilots: confidence without intimidation. It feels like a 21st century airplane built for real pilots, not just students or adrenaline seekers. It respects your nerves, your wallet, and your physical comfort. And I want to open a discussion here. Do you think more senior pilots should transition to newer aircraft like the P2010 for comfort and efficiency? Or do you trust the classics more because they've proven themselves for decades? Let's debate it below, because this really splits opinions. First place, Cessna 172 Skyhawk. Here we are again. And honestly, was there ever any doubt? For pilots over 70, the Cessna 172 remains the safest, most forgiving, most emotionally reassuring airplane you can fly. Everything about the Skyhawk reduces stress. Entry is easy. Seating is upright and comfortable. Visibility under that big high wing is outstanding. The controls are gentle and predictable. Nothing about this airplane is rushed, aggressive, or demanding. Insurance providers love it. Instructors trust it. Mechanics know every bolt of it. And for senior pilots, that means fewer surprises, fewer worries, and more peaceful flying. No, it's not fast. No, it won't impress anyone with numbers. But what it gives you at this stage of life is infinitely more valuable: consistency, stability, historical safety performance, and a cockpit environment that feels calm and familiar instead of overwhelming. The 172 lets you enjoy the sky, truly enjoy it, without fighting the airplane, your nerves, or your wallet every time you take off. So here's my question to you. If you're over 70 or planning for that stage, what matters most now? Is it medical flexibility, comfort, simplicity, the feeling of safety, or the pride of still flying something capable and modern? Which of these airplanes would you trust at this age? And do you think aviation is doing enough to keep older pilots flying or slowly pushing them out? Let's talk honestly in the comments.